Hi there, blessings, welcome, welcome, welcome. So grateful to be here. I am figuring out this TikTok live, and I just figured out a way to go live on a desktop, but I did not have enough time to figure out all the dynamics. So I'll sort that out another day. I'm going to go live on the phone and give a moment for you all to come in and get yourself a vessel of water, maybe a journal with a pen to take some notes, get a snack, get comfy. We're gonna dive into the energetics of November, what's coming up astrologically, what's coming up using numerology and tarot to dive into, how to navigate the energies that are coming up, as well as some guidance on how to navigate it, right? Because we're all in this human experience together, and we're all 24 hours a day is what we all have. And so how do we as a collective on an individual level support self and support the greater whole? So we're going to look at what's coming up. We've got a really exciting full month ahead. This is November, the month of number 11. 11 is a master number, so this is the last month of this master number year that is really bringing up all of the stuff. If you haven't been doing the work, it's going to be coming up this month. If you have been doing the work, it's going to be a little easier for you to navigate, but it's still a really intense month. We are going into this month in Scorpio season. We just had Samhain yesterday. So let's begin by opening our circle with a little bit of energy clearing. So to receive, just get comfortable where you are seated. Big deep inhale, open, soften, and expand. Exhale, unclench your legs, unclench your fists. Really just sink into this present moment. You are here of your own free will and choice to receive that which you are ready to receive, that which serves your highest good, in alignment with the highest good of the planetary consciousness, in union with universal consciousness. Thank you so much for being here. So grateful to see all of your shining, brilliant faces here today. Hi, hi, hi. Let's see who's here. Say hi so that I can see who's here. Thank you, Esni Derp, and whoever's here. Thank you so much for being here. So blessed to share this circle with you. So we've cleared this energy, and we'll do a group deeper soul clearing at the end of this transmission. So stay through the end, because it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Okay. So coming into, this is not working. Coming into November. So we are coming into November with Mars Gemini in retrograde. Okay. So Mars Gemini in retrograde only happens every 2 years, right? So this is really important because this is an opportunity for the rewiring of thinking, of mindsets. Okay, so what is Mars? Mars is action, and Gemini is the mind. So the action of the mind seems to be taking a step back, but it's not a step back, it's a step internally. Why? Because our thoughts create our reality, right? Our thoughts create the reality that we perceive, and then our actions enforce that reality of thought. Okay, so let's look at tarot, and let's look at Mars in Gemini retrograde. One card of tarot, please, to summarize this energy. And we get number 6, the Lady and the Lord. So this is the Lover's card. This is the union of the masculine and feminine energies, right? And that's really when we are talking about communication, we have to harmonize the masculine and the feminine. Why? Because the feminine energy is intuition, it's connection with source, it's connection with life. So you receive information from your higher knowing, from your inner authority, from your sense of sovereignty and inner stillness, and then you take action using the masculine energy to act upon that inner guidance. So overall, summarizing, this Mars and Gemini energy is really bringing up, highlighting and reaffirming that opportunity, Queen of Cups, to bring more love into your communication, into how you speak, most importantly, how you speak to yourself. Gemini is the first air sign, so it's the sign of air that talks about communication with self, right? We have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius are the three air signs. Gemini is communication with self, Libra is communication with others, relationships, partnerships, etc. And then we have Aquarius, communication with our community, with our world. So Mars in Gemini, action in Gemini, that fire of Mars, that masculine energy of Mars is being internalized and really providing a potent opportunity, potent energy to look at how we speak about self, how we speak to self, how we speak about self privately and to others, right? Are we in alignment? Are you in alignment? How do you speak to yourself and how do you speak of yourself to other people? Is there a match, right? And we are giving this opportunity to bring that into union, unify that masculine and feminine energy within, to communicate from a place of love and really step into the innate state of our being in this human experience, which is love. Love is who we are. We are love manifest in different forms. We wear different skins. We practice different beliefs. Yet ultimately, at the core of our being, we are all love. Either we are acting on love or we are seeking love. All right. So I'm going to share with you a practice that you can use this month and really, continuing forward until you feel that you have completed this part of your practice. This is a practice I've shared with my clients and students over the last few years. And that is, so you get two journals, all right? So I'm going to just show you two journals that I have. So you get two journals, you have one, and then you have two, all right? So you have one journal and you label it the poison diary, okay? And this poison diary is where you're just going to brain dump, okay? You're just going to brain dump. Whatever's coming up without filter, dump it out. Dump out the toxicity, dump out your dreams, dump out your fears, just dump it out. Dump out the poison, right? It doesn't need to be edited. You don't need to get a fancy marker. You don't even need to get this fancy journal. It's just what I have. But if you have a fancy journal that you want to use, hey, more power to you, right? The point is you have one for the poison. You just get it all out. Why? Because you need to empty your mind, right? There's this misconception in today's world, in the spiritual community, that meditation is emptying the mind. Yes, but that is a master practice, right? How do you even get there? How do you even get to emptying the mind when you're just so full, right? So writing it out will really help you. And I really mean writing, right? Not typing, because it activates a different part of your brain. If you need to type for whatever reasons, okay, honor your process, but I highly encourage writing it out. Poison diary, dump it out. And then you have the second one, and this is the peace diary, okay? So you're going to look at whatever you dumped out, and you're going to pick 3 points a day to just empower, right? If you, for example, are like, oh, I'm so fucking stupid. I can't believe I didn't know that. I should have known better. And if I just, gotten to bed earlier on time, I wouldn't have been late to work, and I wouldn't have gotten yelled at by my boss, blah, 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 blah. Look at that experience and say, I woke up today. Wow, what a gift, right? And really start to empower. I woke up today. I woke up today. That's the first one. I recognize that I didn't go to bed early, and I will go to bed early tonight. Gentleness, peace, bringing more empowerment, bringing more love into how you speak to yourself. I am timely could be an affirmation that you write. I am on time. I am responsible. I am loved. I am worthy. I am grateful to have a job. I am grateful to have income, to manifest my dreams, to provide food, right? We take the poison and we turn it into peace. And this is just dumping, right? This, at the very minimum, 3 short sentences. And if you go more, absolutely powerful. But this is the one, the peace diary, is where you really start to pay attention and are very mindful of your language, right? You can get your fancy pens and colors and a really cute journal. However, don't make it too complicated. KISS, Kiss. Keep it sweet and simple, right? Poison, peace. Dump, and realize, you dump it out and then you realize what's happening and then you rewrite it. Dump and realize, you dump it out and then you realize what's happening and then you rewrite it. Dump and realize, you dump it out and then you realize what's happening and then you rewrite it. All right, you can still all hear me. And then you just come into greater peace, right? And you do this practice every day, okay? You do, at the very minimum, the peace practice every day. 3 lines every day of empowering self, of being grateful for self. And that's really going to help you boost this opportunity that of Mars in Gemini, which is not just through this month, but going through January, right? So the next 2 months are a powerful time to realize, rewrite, and repattern. Let's get one final card from Tarot for this Mars and Gemini energy. One final guidance, please. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, we got 2 cards, 4 of Cups and 6 of Wands. Okay, so I'm seeing numerology here. First of all, we have a 4 and a 6 and a minor arcana. That's a 10, right? 10 is completion, 1 and 0, beginnings and endings and opportunities in between. So again, highlighting that this is a time for you to 4 of Cups. What is 4 of Cups? 4 of Cups symbolizes that mindset of regret, of loss, of being stuck in, this could have happened, this would have happened, sitting in remorse, regret. That's the word I was looking for, sitting in regret. That's what the 4 of Cups energy is, sitting in remorse and regret. And then 6 of Wands is the energy of movement forward, right? Wands is intuition, moving forward from that beginning. Wands is intuition, Wands is the east is the beginnings. So you let go of the resentment, of the regret, of the coulda, woulda, shouldas, letting all that drop, and then you just move forward and you bring that into a completion. That's a 10. This is a 6 of Wands. We had the 6 here. So again, this is your power number, okay? If you want to choose a number to help you work through the mental prisons through this season, use the number 6 and meditate on that. Meditate is just in this aspect means reflect on the number 6, and that will help you get out of this mindset where you're just sitting there crying over spilled milk instead of realizing that there's someone at the door, aka your higher self, even a friend, a partner, a community, doesn't matter. There's someone outside who's wanting to call you and say, hey, let's go on a new adventure, right? And that really ties in with the energies that continue forward into the month. So that's Mars and Gemini. Let's close that. And then let's continue forward into November. So then on November 8th, we have a full moon lunar eclipse in the Taurus North Node. What does this mean? Okay, so full moon, illumination, right? Moon is bright in the sky. Now, this full moon is going to be even extra special because as of the full moon that we just had last month, I can't remember what sign it was in. Nevertheless, I just made a little post about this on my channel and I invite you to take a look at it. But basically, this last full moon was the reclamation of the moon. What does that mean? So I've talked about how the energies that the moon sends to the earth, the signals that the moon sends to the earth, has been under interference for the last few years. It has been distorted. There have been illusions that have been cast by energies that are not serving the highest good. And so this has created it has created an increase of spiritual ego bypassing. It has created a lot of false teachers to come out. It has allowed a lot of false prophets, a lot of false teachers, a lot of teachers that aren't in integrity and alignment. It has allowed them to come out and share teachings and wisdoms that, yes, to a point, have a measure of truth, because we are all operating from one source of universal truth. However, because there has been this distortion for the last few years, a lot of that truth hasn't come from a place of doing that inner work. More of like, oh, I went to an energy healing session and now I'm an energy healer because I'm activated. Or, oh, I went to a plant medicine ceremony with an elder and now I'm doing plant ceremonies and I'm running a healing retreat center, but I'm not actually integrated in the physical experience, right? Or, oh, I'm out of the matrix, but you're still posting on TikTok and other platforms, right? If you are using a cell phone, you are still a part of the matrix, right? Unless you are literally living off grid and you have zero contact with any kind of electronic, you are not traveling anywhere, you're just like hermit mode in the woods, living off berries, you are in the matrix. Why? Because this is the construct that we are in. We are in the matrix, so we have to work with it. And this is the whole thing about Mars and Gemini. It is rewriting how we are choosing to engage, right? We can't just say, oh, the matrix has collapsed and we're out of the matrix and we're all living peace and light and love and kumbaya and, you know, chanting and doing affirmations and we're free and sovereign. We are still operating in the matrix, right? But it's about how we are operating in the matrix. How are we choosing to engage with the system that is currently in place, right? We can't just eliminate it because it's literally the holding the fabric of our experience in this timeline, in this current now, right? We can't just say, oh, it's gone by, we're not going to talk about it, I'm just going to be over here dancing on the beach, you know, living my 5D life. Like, we are still working through the deprogramming and decolonizing, and this is going to be happening for many years, right? We are just seeing the beginning of it, right? We're talking about hundreds, thousands of years of illusion and disconnect from source, right? It's not going to happen overnight. It's not even going to happen in the next few weeks or next few months. It's going to be years, right? And yes, there is a possibility of acceleration, right? But that really depends on the collective, individual cellular work, right? So this full moon that's coming up is going to be extra potent because the moon has been reclaimed, right? All of the internal work of many of us who are here, many who catch the replay, the deep soul work that we have been doing, the deep soul work that the leaders in integrity have been doing, that the shamans and medicine women have really been doing for the last, decade or so, the deep karmic multi-generational clearing. And I'm talking about, you're doing the real work, not just, cutting people off and they just don't exist. That's not doing the work, right? Doing the work is you do the work on self, you then work on relationships with others, and if they don't want to meet you there, then we cut people off. That's a different conversation. I'm talking about this deep soul work that we have been doing. This soul work in conjunction with all of the other galactic energies that have come to support more beings of the light have been able to come through and channel and bring their medicines, because there is a hierarchy. There is a hierarchy of the Elohim. There is a hierarchy of the angels, of the archangels. Certain beings of the light, they literally cannot operate in the 3D frequency, in the 3D that we are in. So they have to come through certain beings. But these beings have to be in a space stable enough within self to be able to channel these energies. So since the soul work has been done, there's been an increase of availability for light to come through. This has rippled domino effect. And then we saw up in September, this whole reclamation of the moon has been happening for a while, but it really started catalyzing in August. And then in September, when the Iranian revolution ignited with the woman unveiling and cutting her hair, that was that final push that was needed so that the lunar energies can be reclaimed by the consciousness people of the earth to whom it rightfully belongs, free of static interference, free of parasitic interference, free of these illusions and charms that were being cast and programmed and fed and amplified through the emotional through the emotional, what's the word I'm looking for? Help me. Through the emotional body of the collective consciousness. Why? Because the lunar energies directly impact the emotions, the intuition, right? So this upcoming, with all that said, this upcoming full moon is going to be extra intense because we're going to feel that pure energy of the lunar energies that hasn't been felt for many years. And then on top of that intensity of the full moon, we are witnessing an eclipse, right? An eclipse just brings that extra cosmic energy, but it's also in alignment in the Taurus North Node, and it's wrapping up the eclipse season that we've been in for a few weeks. So the North Node is all about our destiny, our soul purpose, our mission, the whole raison d'etre of being in this human experience, right? Everybody's like, why am I here? You know, Shakespeare has talked about, you know, who am I? What am I? What is the purpose of man? Philosophers over many years and timelines have talked about what is my purpose. Well, this upcoming full moon is really going to bring an activation of soul purpose within the DNA, especially for beings who have been doing the work of clearing the clutter and you know, deprogramming, decolonizing, really purifying the vessel to return it to its innate state of pure source consciousness, are going to be more they're going to have greater clarity and of understanding of what the soul purpose looks like if you haven't already been activated into that, right? And I know myself, I have definitely received clarity over the last few weeks because I always get hit with the energies a few weeks to a few months before they actually come into the collective consciousness, because where I am operating in my frequency, right? Yes, I'm still in the 3D experience, but I operate in a much higher frequency. So this full moon in Taurus, and then Taurus, right? So we have Taurus is the first earth sign. Taurus is the first earth sign, and similar to how I talked about the air signs, we have the 3 earth signs: Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So Taurus is the structure and stability of self, right? Then Virgo is structure and stability with other, relationship with other, and then we have Capricorn, structure and stability of the greater horn, greater whole, greater horn. So we're seeing this illumination, right? Full moon illumination and activation of soul purpose in the Taurus North Node. So how that soul purpose needs to be grounded in the physical body, in the human experience, in the here now, right? And with that, where in that internal foundation are there still cracks? Where in that internal foundation is there still old baggage, old patterns, old mindsets, karmic cycles, you know, cords, whatever, things, possessions, jobs, situations, anything and everything? Where is that still in the internal structure, so that your soul purpose, your original blueprint, the template, the soul contract that you signed up for before coming into this human experience can truly be activated and come online? And you are going to be even more supported and even more protected during this time, because the lunar energies have been reclaimed and are now being protected and taken care of, so to speak, by certain grid workers and cosmic shamans that have that specific assignment, right? And your assignments in the human experience continue to evolve, right? As you continue to grow in your consciousness, your soul assignments will shift and evolve and change. Why? Because that is just the law, and the law is not control. The law is structure. Okay, the law is what allows us in the human experience to have free will and to co-create with universal consciousness. So that's happening on the 8th. Let's get a tarot card to just bring this in, see if there's any further messages and support. Okay, we'll take that. Look at that, the sun. That is so beautiful. I'm not even going to pull another card, because how could you get a better card? You know, the sun, literal illumination of the soul, of the original blueprint. The sun is about innocence. The sun is about joy. You know, the sun is like that fresh of breath air after a long, dark, cold night, right? The sun's out, the plants are happy, the birds are singing, the flowers are blooming, right? The sun, that basically summarizes the upcoming full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus North Node energies. Beautiful. And then we go a few days later, we have the 1111 gateway. Okay, so we have 1111, and 11 is a master number. The 11/11/2022 date is a number 10 day. And so it is going to be the last power master number day of the year. Okay, because it is on an 11 day. 11 plus 11 is a 22. And then you have that 11, 11, and 22 adds up to a 10, right? So we are going to be experiencing a lot of, there's within that 11/11 gateway, and I'm feeling guided to say I will do a separate live channeling activation on the 11/11 gateway. I haven't done one. I can't remember if I did one last year. Last year was kind of a wash for me. I was going through so much inner transformation and external transformation. Anyway, I'll do a separate live for the 11/11 gateway, but what I'm called to say right now is that on that day, before and after, you know, it's always, time is not linear, right? Time is happening in the now. So that day, expect, you know, surprises, sudden endings, karmic completions, universal soul gifts, activation of psychic gifts. You know, it's going to be a surprise is what I'm getting. It's going to be a surprise for every single one of us. And it's going to really depend your surprise. It's not a bad surprise, right? It's just a surprise, right? It can be a little bit of a shock. It can be slightly unpleasant, but it's not a bad surprise because ultimately it's to bring you into greater alignment, bring you into greater at one ment with self. All right. Can I get a card for this day? No. Okay, so let's move on to November 16th. Okay, so midway through the month, Venus is going to be moving from Scorpio to Sagittarius. Now, I've noticed this on a lot of astrology platforms that I've listened to over the years, and especially tarot readers who dive mildly into astrology, and we all talk about, look at your sun, rising, and moon. Okay, super important, yes. However, there is another planet that is just as equally as important that isn't talked about, and that is your Venus placement. Why? Because your Venus placement rules love, right? And love is basically what dictates all of your choices and actions. So look at where your Venus sits and really start incorporating the energies and looking at the shadows of how Venus sits in your natal chart, because it links directly with your moon sign, right? Venus and the moon are always working together. Why? Because the moon sign is your emotions, and Venus is how you speak that emotional language. Okay, so Venus is moving into Sag on the 16th from Scorpio. We're in Scorpio right now. Scorpio is very intense, right? Scorpio is just like super intense, plumbing into the depths, you know, just feisty. It's like a fiery water sign, okay? But we're moving out of this intensity, okay? And we're moving into Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is about freedom and spontaneity and more adventure in relationships. So we're going to be shifting from that intensity within self that we have all been going through within our relationship with self, our relationship with others through this year. It's just been a very intense year with Venus. We just had the Venus Gateway a few weeks ago, and I channeled an activation for that and a clearing. It is available on my YouTube channel, so if that interests you, you're welcome to check it out. The energy is applied whenever you receive it, because when you receive it is exactly what's meant for you. So we're going to be seeing a shift from this super intense internal focus of the eye into more expansion and lightheartedness, right? We're going to start seeing a shift from internal to external come mid-month. And this is going to open room for more lighthearted energies in relationships. The day after that, on the 17th, Mercury goes from Scorpio to Sagittarius, right? So again, Mercury is the mind, right? So we have the mind and the heart moving into Sag. So there's going to be communication alignment, right? The mind and heart are going to be able to talk to each other, understand each other, and start taking all of the inner transformation that has been happening this year, and especially the last few weeks since that activation in August, to broadening perspective, right? It's going to go from, oh my gosh, what has been going on within? How am I relating to myself? How am I relating with other people? I don't want to be around people. I'm just triggered and angry and intense, and there's just so much, and I'm so emotional, and I'm just like, it's like freaking out to, whew, oh my goodness, goddess, thank you. It's gonna be like a big break, right? So going to be a break from the intensity. And this is a gift. This is a gift from the universe, because coming 2023, we're going to start seeing the deep work consistently happen. And that's going to take us for a few years, right? So this is a break, almost like a holiday gift, right? The universe truly does work in wonderful, mysterious, magical ways. And this is going to allow for more optimism, more hope, right? It's like a return of hope. There's just going to be a lightening of mood, right? We're going to be able to just like see the humor in the intensity, right? We're going to be able to laugh about things that even a few weeks ago are just like not funny, right? I made a joke yesterday to my housemate, and he's like, it's too soon, Olive. It's too soon, Drazmin. I'm like, okay, heard. All right, heard. I got to wait 2 weeks until the energy's light enough for the other people around me, because I'm already here like, let's go. It's time for adventure. Let's have a tea party and, make some snacks and do all this fun stuff. And the people around me are like, I don't know what bubble you're in, but I'm still very intense right now, right? So be mindful of where you are, because we are all on this human experience together, but we all have our own individual paths. So just be gentle, right? If you're going through intensity, be gentle with yourself. If somebody around you is going through intensity, be gentle with them, right? Recognize that there is an opportunity coming up that is going to allow you to really reconnect, right, with your friends and loved ones and families from a healed and whole space, right? Everything is happening so fast. I just saw a comment pop up. I'm so glad I heard your life. I'm going back north. This all happened so fast. Your life is so helpful. Thank you, beloved. I really appreciate your feedback. That is wonderful to hear. I'm glad to hear that this is helpful for you. And yeah, you're going north. I can't help but see a parallel, right? You're going back north. I'm assuming you're going back north to your hometown, and we're going into the north node, right? So there is this alignment, right? As within, so without, as above, so below, and all around. So a lightening is coming, okay? A lightening is coming. So take these next 2 weeks, especially if you're still in this intensity, and I know I am to a certain level as well, to really just, get into that practice of the poison and the peace journals, right? To really prepare your mind, right? Because we feel, and then that goes to the mind, and the mind translates, right? This is science, okay? We feel energy first, and then the mind translates. But the mind translates based on our experiences, based on our understanding. So if your mind has trauma, if your understanding and your experience is coming from a trauma body, or from unresolved wounds of rejection and abandonment and neglect and abuse and so on and so forth, then you are going to continue to interpret your life experiences as something that is coming to traumatize you, rather than seeing it as an opportunity to help you transcend your trauma. Because we are not designed and born to live in trauma. We are not designed to live in scarcity. We are not designed to live in poverty. Those are programs and conditions that we have inherited, that have been fed into us, that to a point we are continuing to consume until we come into that awareness of what is feeding mind, heart, body, spirit. So let's get some tarot for Venus and Mercury going into Sag mid-month. Let's see. Yeah, King of Cups. That is so beautiful, right? King of Cups, absolutely. You know, there's that big love energy. The big love juice is coming from the universe, right? Sag is this Sag, you know, my experience, my moon is in Sag, right? So my moon is in Sag and my Venus is in Leo. Okay, so I have two fires, so I'm very fiery, I'm very passionate, but because I have so much fire in my emotional relational aspects of my chart, I can be very intense and intimidating to other people. We're like, whoa, calm down, you're just like going off on me. So just again, practice mindfulness, right? Mindfulness of self. We're not responsible for how other people might react and respond, but we can still cultivate a sense of empathy and a sense of awareness and a sense of mindfulness. So let's get one more card, please, for this energy. Let's get one just for Venus and Sag. Five of Wands, okay? This is what I was talking about. Five of Wands is the energy of bringing into oneness the five senses, right? The five is the five senses. You have your sight, you have your words, you have your ears, you have your third eye, and then you have your connection with the world. So Venus and Sag is bringing that oneness back into yourself. Like all of these things that have been going on internally and externally, it's finally just coming in, right? It's like, okay, cohesion. That's the key word, cohesion. Let's get a card for Mercury going into Sag. Eight of Pentacles, okay? Absolutely wonderful, wonderful cards, okay? So eight is the number of infinity, right? If you turn the eight on its side, it's the number of infinity. So eight in its power is infinite resources, unlimited potential. But in the shadow, it is stagnation, right? And how we shift from abundant mindset, or from stagnation to abundant, to the abundance that we are, is by doing that inner work, right? Eight of Pentacles, and it's unified by love, okay? So we have a five, the King of Cups, and the eight. So five is pause, right? Five is pause for reflection. Is my mind, heart, body, spirit, and soul in alignment with my highest truth, operating from a place of love? And I'm also guided to share here. I'm noticing here in this card, the shadow of excess, right? So there's that caution as well of like, am I in alignment with self, and am I balanced? Right? And that's where that work comes in. Am I balanced, right? Am I balanced with where I am and how much I am giving to self and others, and vice versa, okay? And then doing the work to just bring that into greater balance, right? The five and the eight is the number 13, and I'm adding them because they are two minors. The number 13 is the number of transformation. It is the number of source. It is the number of the God consciousness, and the number 13 is a prime number. So it is not a master number in the traditional sense, but it is a number of mastery. And then when you break down the 1 and 3, you have the number 1, which is beginnings. You have the number 3, which is the trinity of mind, heart, body, cosmic father, divine mother, and sacred child. You bring the trinity together into the new beginning for yourself. The 13 adds up to a 4. You create a new foundation for yourself. And I talked about how that foundation and that structure a few days prior, in the North Node in Taurus, that's really illuminating the structures and foundations of self, right? So even more, this is all in support. Everything that is happening for you, right? It's about just shifting the mind to see that perspective, and that takes a little bit of soul work, right? All right, so let's close that, and let me take a sip of water here. One last point, I looking at my notes here, I'm so glad I took notes this time. I don't usually write myself notes, and then after my lives or after my recordings, I'm like, oh man, I forgot to talk about that. So I'm glad I took notes this time. I'm learning, right? I'm also learning. I'm in this human experience with y'all. Give yourself an extra pause, right? Especially when communicating with others, to really see things from the perspective of others, right? When we are still healing from trauma, there is a scab, there is a scar tissue that is forming, right? So it's still tender, it's still raw. You can begin to heal relationships with others when you are still healing, but also be mindful that you are still tender, right? So I invite you to really take a moment to see things from the other person's perspective, right? Because their experiences and their emotions are just as valid as yours. They may seem ridiculous, right? But that's not the point. We're not here to judge anyone for their experience. We're here to say, I see you, I hear you, thank you for allowing yourself to be seen, right? Because this is how we want to be treated. We want to be acknowledged for our emotions and experiences, regardless of whether it's true or untrue or right or wrong. That's not the point. The point is, these are my feelings, this is my emotions, this is my experience. I want to be seen and validated and heard in that. And in the same way, as we shift into this energy out of internal more to external, give that grace that you would like to receive, that you are giving yourself to the others around you. Right? Even if it's just like not engaging and just keeping the peace, right? We don't need to go out of our way to be selfish pricks. So anyway, moving on from that energy. So let's go into 11/22, which is when Sag season begins. And I'm super excited about this Sag season because it's starting on 11/22, which 22 is a master number. Okay, that is the last master number of the year. And 22, you know, we have two twos, then we have the number 11, and then we have 2022. And the numerology of that day is a 12, right? And 12 is about seeing the higher perspective, seeing from the mindset of universal consciousness, right? 1 is the self, 2 is duality, 3 is the Trinity. And when you are in the Trinity, you are seeing from God consciousness. You are seeing from the external perspective. You are getting out of the myopia of the mind and really seeing the higher purpose of every experience and every emotion that you're going through. So Sag season begins on this powerful master number day that is also a number of that is also bringing an opportunity to see things from the higher perspective. And Sag, as I'd mentioned, is all about lightness, fun, freedom. Sag is also the energy of knowledge, right? Of putting knowledge into practice, right? Of really integrating wisdom, right? Because anybody can read a book, right? Yeah, knowledge is, you know, I can go and read something. I don't have any books right now on me, but knowledge is something that you can go and Google something and read something. But wisdom is when you take the knowledge that you have heard on this cast, you know, heard from other teachers, research yourself, whatever. You take all of that knowledge, you take all of that information, and you begin to apply it into your daily life. You begin to test it out. Okay, what of this is actually for me in this human experience, right? Because all of it can support, but what supports you specifically, right? So we are entering on 11/22 Sag season, and Sag is ruled by Jupiter, which is all about growth and expansion with humor and wisdom, right? So that's the key: growth and expansion with humor and wisdom. Okay, and then the next day, Jupiter, which has been retrograde for the last few months, goes direct. Okay, so we have been Jupiter is the energy of that expansion, you know, that I was talking about, and it's moving out of retrograde, right? So it's moving out of the internal. Again, there's a shift this coming month from the internal to the external before we go back into internal next year. So because we are ending the year on a Mercury retrograde. So that's going to be fun. So we're moving from internal expansion, expanding consciousness, expanding the mind, and expanding our heart. And how do we expand? Okay, it's not an expansion, it's more of an emptying, right? Because we are, and I've shared this example in a lot of my videos, we are like this vessel. Okay, we are this vessel. You can only fill so much in the vessel. So when I talk about expansion, it means that you have cleared room for other things that are more in alignment to come in, right? You're not like expanding your mind and you're going to become an alien with a bubble head. That's not what I'm talking about when I talk about expansion. I'm talking about you have done the work over this year, over the next few weeks, so that come by the end of the month, you have more room to receive these cosmic keys, these codes for your own ascension and evolution in the human experience, right? So Jupiter ends its retrograde, which will finally give you that lightness, right? I talk about how towards the end of the month, towards the end of the month, there's going to be this lightening of energies, right? So you're going to have this lightness within self, first the mind and the heart, mid-month with Venus and Mercury going into Sag, and then towards the end of the month with Jupiter going direct, to really start taking action towards anchoring that expansion within self in the reality of this human experience that we are in, right? Because it's not enough to just do the work in the mind and in the God realm and just like meditate all day. And then when you return to the human experience, you're still eating junk food, you're watching crap television, you're engaging in toxic conversations, right? You're just like shitting out all of the nutrition that you're receiving spiritually. So you have to do the physical work to integrate, right? Integration is a big part of being in this human experience. So let's look at some tarot. And Jupiter is going into Pisces for the rest of the year. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So this is just, it's just like that final, like you're deep cleaning your house or you're deep cleaning your car. Okay, you just got like some lint here and there and you're like, oh crap, I forgot to clean out the glove compartment. So you got to open that and pull out all those papers and those dirty napkins in there. It's like that final cleanup is going to be happening through the end of the year, removing any remaining old patterns so that you can prepare for the growth and expansion that's coming in 2023 when Jupiter moves into Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac. So let's get some tarot for this. Jupiter going Sag. Okay, let's get some cards for Sag. Okay, Sag season, 3 of Wands. Beautiful. Yes, 3 is the Trinity that I was talking about. And 3 of Wands often talks about, in traditional tarot, symbolizes networking, symbolizes connection with community, with family and friends, collaborating, expanding, right? So that affirms that Sag energy that's coming in. And then let's look at Jupiter going direct, please. 4 of Wands. Look at that. 4 of Wands is about the structure, right? 4 of Wands is about that stability. 4 of Wands is the home. Okay, so again, that growth and expansion, really looking at your home, right? We are going from looking at the internal of the mind, heart, body to looking at the physical home that you are in and how that house, that physical house, supports you in this human experience to continue ascending and evolving and co-creating with creation rather than being a slave to the matrix. Let's get one more card. 6 of Cups. Beautiful. I love this. I love this. 6 of Cups, returning to that joyful innocence. There's 2 young children in this card, masculine and feminine. And I believe that I opened today's circle and starting to talk about the upcoming astro energies with the number 6, right? So closing out the astro numerology tarot news of the month with the 6 of Cups, it's really coming full circle. Okay, it's really coming full circle. It's like it's been super intense, it's been brutal, on some levels, but it's all to return us to our innocence. It's all to return us to play, to joy, to peace, to unity consciousness, true unity consciousness, right? Not being separate, not labeling, not judging, right? When we are judging, it just is a sign that there's judgment within self, right? That's all judgment is. A judgment comes up, oh, I can't believe he's so fat, or how could she say that, right? If that judgment comes up, it's just judgment of self that is being projected, right? So just notice that and come back to that, because the more aware we become of self, the more we align with love, right? You don't have to go and seek out love. You already are love. It's about just removing all of the programming and ego, everyone's good opinion, edging God, goddess, goodness out, right? It's just about clearing the room, clearing the vessel, right? So you can fill it with what you actually want, right? Because 24 hours a day, that's all we got. So is there any final messages, Spirit? Any final messages for the collective for the month of November? Incoming energies. Six of Pentacles, okay? Six of Pentacles. Look, another six. Okay, what did I say? The number, I guess, okay. So the number for the month is the number 6. Okay, heard. I thought the number for meditation on Mars and Gemini was the number 6, but actually number 6 is the number for the month. So 6 of Pentacles is the number of sharing, right? Sharing. So we have 6 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles, and I think we had 6 of Wands come out earlier. So look at your resources, right? Where are you not allowing yourself to express love and appreciation for yourself, for people in your life, because you are still holding on to pain and trauma and resentment, right? Where are you not sharing your resources? Where are you not helping people who are your friends or family who might be in need because you are saving for a rainy day? What rainy day? Okay, when you are gathered together as a village, as a community, and you tend to each other and you tend to the land, nature will always provide, right? Let's look at the birds and animals. They don't go around, with storage locker units, hoarding all of their possessions and waiting for the fucking apocalypse, right? That is an AI programming. That is a programming that feeds fear, panic, distortion. Okay, so that's not a real thing. Okay, in universal consciousness, scarcity doesn't exist, right? You don't see fucking tigers going around like killing deer and saving them for 3 years and being concerned about, oh, how are they going to preserve the venison jerky? Okay, they don't do that because they trust that nature provides. So in the same way, this is about reclaiming our trust with self, reclaiming our power with self, right? Recognizing that all of these programs outside of self that perpetuate and say, oh, you need to have savings in the bank. Yeah, save a little bit, right? Yeah, don't just like not have something for a season. Have enough for a season or two, but beyond that, it's about balance. 6 is also the number of balance, right? How much you have, how much you give, how much you receive, and are you in alignment, or are you holding on to things because, oh, I'm going to use it another day. I've had this project that I started 10 years ago, but I'll finish it someday. Right? You have filled your room with someday, right? Rather than in the now, right? So look at self, and then that will bring you into greater clarity and understanding of how to be in alignment with other, because as within, so without. And I have, to support you, if you're interested, I have this little free mini course. I wasn't going to talk about it, and then I found it in a really unexpected random place, so I'm just gonna say, okay, that's a sign, Spirit, because I have no idea where this came from because I gave it to somebody, but I have this free little mini course on my website. It's called Setting Up for Peace. It's a really easy to follow guide booklet. I apologize, this is like the worst copy. It's like full of stains. Like I said, I have no idea where it came from, but I know it's mine because I made it and I printed it months ago. But it's a very simple, easy to follow ABC steps on how to set up for peace, right? Because peace is everything, right? If you're not at peace, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter if you have an awesome relationship and a sick car and cool phone or whatever, right? If you're not at peace, then none of that is really going to matter, right? You're still depressed and sick and frustrated with everything going on. So this is a little guide that can help you. And within this guide, the whole point of sharing this guide was not to share the guide at all, but one of the practices in this guide is the letter D, declutter, right? And that's what this energy is talking about. It's talking about decluttering. It's talking about sharing the wealth. It's talking about looking at the community that you are, three, Trinity, right? Who can you talk to? Who can you connect with? Who can you open up to, right? Open up to self is great, but our true growth, our true essence, shall I say, really comes out when we relate to others, because we are not designed to be alone in this human experience. We are here to experience life with each other, right? And because of the distortion that I talked about earlier in this video, because of the distortion that has been fed and really like I'm getting this image of a mortar and pestle, it's like been really shoved into the consciousness over the last few years. It's like the whole COVID pandemic thing, it really highlighted where and how separate and distant we are from ourselves, right? To the point where we're not going to see our family and friends if they don't follow a program that dictates something. I mean, for God's sakes, if you're not feeling well, go outside. The sun is the most healing thing you can do for yourself, right? And neither here nor there, this month really is, the key words of the month is removing old baggage, okay? Internally and externally, okay? And redistribute the wealth, okay? Redistribute the wealth. And do it in a way that really honors you, okay? Do it with love and gratitude. Do it from a place of peace, right? Not, oh, I'm so scared if I give away my extra 5 pounds of rice that I'm not going to have rice again, even though you have 30 pounds at home, okay? More of okay, I'm redistributing the wealth. I'm giving you so that I have room to receive, and releasing that expectation of receiving as well, right? Focusing on just your mental structures, focusing on bringing more love into your choices and how you speak to yourself and of yourself. Just a gentle reminder, the practice I shared at the beginning, the poison journal, dump it all out, the peace journal, 3 sentences of empowerment a day, okay? I woke up today. What a gift it is to be in this human experience. I'm in this magical body, and yes, it hurts, but wow, I can feel. What a gift, right? So that is, oh look, on the bottom of the deck, King of Wands, okay? So yeah, that just basically summarizes it, really following your intuition. And with, the reclamation of the moon, that is really going to be much clearer now than it has been for the last few years. And there may need to be some cobwebs that need to be cleared. And that could include, taking accountability for self. I always say with the 3 stages of awakening are awareness, acknowledgement, an apology, apologizing to self, apologizing to others, and then action, right? An apology is not enough. You have to take action towards changing and evolving, right? So those are the stages of awakening. Awareness, you awaken, you have awareness of something, you acknowledge that, you apologize if needed, first to self, then to another, and then you take action, right? So King of Wands, awakening of that intuition. Beautiful. So that is the summary of the November energies. It looks like I've been chatting with y'all for an hour. How wonderful. So let's just close that and reset the space here with a little bit more palo. I'm so blessed to have been gifted Palo Santo over the years. I've never bought Palo Santo. It has always been gifted to me from elders and teachers and clients and students. So I'm super, super grateful and blessed to share this really sacred smoke and medicine with you. And if you've ever had Palo Santo bath, you can just imagine that smell coming at you now. Beautiful. All right, so let me take a look at the questions and comments. And I mentioned, oh no, one of the feathers in my fan just broke. My owl feather. Okay. Maybe it's time for that to go back to the earth. Thank you, owl. I appreciate you. So let's take a look at comments. I am offering little mini Reiki and Tarot sessions. Donations are welcome, not expected. So let's see. Thank you, Nary Dove, for your presence and comments. I appreciate you. Thank you. Words are immortal. Grateful for your presence. I'm so glad. I know I acknowledged you already. I'm just acknowledging you again because, why not? We are in this human experience. We all want to be validated. Thank you, Nary Dove. Thank you. Yes. Okay. So my website is, link is in my bio. Okay. And, okay. Let me retract that because my website is currently being built. It has been a true practice of trust and patience for this Virgo woman over here who likes to control everything. And my South Node, my karma is in Virgo, so I'm all about micromanaging and fixating on things. And this has been a real experience for me this year, surrendering and letting go of what I want. Okay, so my website will be coming soon. However, there is a newsletter link in my bio that you can sign up to. And if you want this course and you are on this live right now, comment. I don't know how to look at my comments after this thing is live. So if you're watching this live, DM me your email address and I will send you this course. I will email it to you. And if you are catching the replay, just comment with your email address and I'll send you the little free mini course and add you to the newsletter. And then once my website is live, I will announce it so you can have access to the course. And there's a ton of other empowerment content that I have been creating over the last 3 to 5 years. It's going to be a massive resource of empowerment guides. And I'm really, really excited. This is my baby that I've been working on for several years with the Council of Light and Night. And I am patiently trusting to receive the go-ahead from universe, which is basically when my website gets done. So thank you so much for asking and being open to receiving these guides, because that's all it is. So is anyone who's here interested in some personal tarot message? I'm going to use a different deck. Ugh. Thank you, Nary Dove. So grateful for your feedback. Appreciate you. Okay, so let's get some gentle reassurance from the universe, sweet beloved Nary Dove, that you are prepared and you are ready and you are going to go through this with ease and grace and empowerment. All right, so let's just get a sweet, gentle message from you to just reaffirm that you have done all you can, and now it's about letting go and trusting in the highest outcome. Look at that. 10 of acorns. 10 of pentacles. Okay, so 10 is an ending, responsibility and dedication. Okay, yeah, so tomorrow is a big day, a big cycle completes. You've been responsible, you've put in your effort, you've put in your energy. Look at that beautiful card. I love this card for gentle readings. 10 of acorns. All right, so yeah, you are coming into this end of this beautiful cycle. You've done your work. 6 of crystals. Okay, 6 of fire. So just hold gratitude. Hold gratitude for how hard you've worked. Hold a vision for the highest outcome. You know, instead of stressing tonight about your exams, just close your notebook. Give yourself a facial, maybe take a bubble bath, make yourself a nice dinner, celebrate how hard you have been working, have yourself a little gratitude feast, put some oils, essential oils on, and just celebrate how hard you have been working, have yourself a little gratitude feast, put some oils, essential oils on, and just amplifies our courage and confidence. Okay, and let's get one more for you. 2 of acorns, right? Yeah, 2 of acorns, balance, right? It's all about that balance. Okay, 2 of pentacles. So 2 cards of the pentacles comes up. I'll add them up because they're the same suit. That's the number 12. Okay, number 12 is the number 3, and I talked about how the number 12 is seeing the higher picture, right? So no matter what happens, no matter what the outcome is, you have done everything in your power for the best outcome for you. And now is the time to just celebrate and take a break so that when you do go into those exams tomorrow, you are coming in from a place of joy and being refreshed. And I don't know about you, but whenever I have a spa day, it just makes me feel like I'm on top of the world. So give yourself that gift of gratitude for how hard you've worked, right? And at this point, you've done all you can. Blessed be. Well, 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 art style, see, is in our future. Well, I will see if there, let's see. Let's get one card for this beloved. 3 of crystals. So 3 of crystals is about collaboration and productivity, right? So there is definite opportunity for expansion. And that 3 of crystals is that 3 of fire, the 3 of wand energy that I was talking about earlier in the astro energy, where it talks about expanding, right? So yes, there is absolute possibility of growth in your future, sweetheart. And 10 of crystals, and that is going to bring even greater stability and fulfillment into your life, right? As you continue to grow within yourself, you grow with your partner, and then you bring in those beautiful children that have chosen you as much as you have chosen them to be parent and child. And this brings you greater stability. Let's get one final card, please. So now all it is about release, right? I see the Tower card here, and sometimes when this card comes up, people get really scared, like, oh my gosh, it's about to hit the fan. Not necessarily, right? It's more about if you are calling in something big like a child, right? And this doesn't have to be a child. This could be a project, a creative passion project, right? You have to make room. And that's what this card is saying. Yes, there's absolute possibility of family and children in your future, but you have to prepare for it and make room. So begin to take those steps, right, to really prepare your physical vessel, your heart, your mind, and your home for this beautiful child that is ready and just in divine alignment will come and be a part of your family and really bring that stability and fulfillment that you long for in your heart. I hope that supports you and brings you an answer twinning this thing. All right, so I'm going to close the circle with a pick a card style reading. Yeah, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. So I'm going to do 3 options. Just extra supporting messages. Oh, there's a squirrel right outside my window who's so wet. Oh, wet little squirrel. All right, 3 cards, 3 options in alignment with the highest good, please. Just extra supporting just because messages. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so for those who chose option 1, we have 5 of Wands. Okay, so whatever your question was, a little more strategy is needed, a little more thought, right? You are being asked to sit and connect with your intuition and look at what has worked, what hasn't worked, and what you can do, and let go of what you can't do. Okay, that's the message. Just a little more thought is needed into that. Let me hold this so it stops going out. Okay, 5 is a number of pause and reevaluation, right? Okay, so for option 2, whatever your question is, the answer is 4 of crystals. So I'm getting, anytime I get this card, I always get 2 messages, right? And because this is a general pick a card, I'm going to give you both. So the 2 options that I'm seeing is, 1, you need to get a grip of what you perceive is taking away your power, right? You get a little more control, right? You have a little more control and power than you realize. And the guidance with this card is take a moment to look at where you are not speaking and standing in your power. And the other message is release control, right? If it was reverse, it would definitely be release control. This is a general, so I'm just giving you both messages. Let go of controlling the outcome. That's the big thing, right? We can control things to a certain point, right? I can set my alarm to get up early, to go to work, to have an awesome day. I have no control over the power going out and my phone dying in the middle of the night, and then I'm 2 hours late for work, okay? So it's about recognizing what you do have control over and then letting go of control and what you can't control, okay? And then let's look at pile 3, whatever your question is. 10 of feathers, okay? So this is about whatever your question is, whatever your concern is, it's an end, okay? This is finally ending. It's time to just say thank you for what was, let it go, and give yourself a moment to rest, okay? In today's world, we have this really toxic program of instant gratification, of the next thing. What's next? What's next? Scroll to the next thing. Look at the next video, eat the next cookie, whatever. It's the next. That is a toxic program that doesn't allow you to really root in your innate state of peace, right? We are not, if you look at nature, she doesn't just jump from, oh, look, you planted a seed, boom, it's going to have fruit in the next few hours or in the next 3 minutes, fast food, fast fruit. That doesn't happen in real life, okay? That's just a construct. That's a program that is designed to keep you from really developing, okay? So whatever your question is, it's coming to an end. It's time to let it go. It's time to just accept what was, receive your blessings with grace, and give yourself a moment to just rest and recover before the new cycle starts. All right? So those are the three options for the three pick a cards. Now I'm going to close our circle today with a little bit of Reiki sent out through the singing bowl. Reiki energy to clear the energy bodies of mind, heart, body, spirit, and creative soul fire. Clearing this energy so that all the messages that came through are received with ease, grace, love, and empowerment. Thank you again so much for being here with me today, for your presence, for your likes, for your comments, for your feedback, for your questions. So deeply grateful to share this circle with you. And until we meet again, sending you all so many, many blessings.